My old friend Star Wars, a franchise that was once at the top of the mountain when it comes to pop culture. I mean, you could only hope to achieve the success that Star Wars has seen on culture if you were developing something. You would hope and pray to even have a fraction of the success that this franchise has had over its lifetime. And then Disney bought it. And for a time, things were fine. But then The Last Jedi came out. And man, it was all downhill from there. There's been one or two good things that have popped up since Disney. I think Rogue One's pretty good. The first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian are pretty good. Other than that, I really can't say that I've enjoyed anything. Because honestly, even The Mandalorian, Season 3 kind of ruined those first 2 seasons for me. Kind of like Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know if I could ever recommend anyone ever sit down and watch Game of Thrones again. Because the ending is just so bad. It's kind of like, well, what's the point? I mean, all roads lead to Season 8. So, and I loved Game of Thrones, but that last season was so bad. I've been enjoying House of the Dragon just fine, but either way, like Season 8 still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if Star Wars can ever rebound, though, from what's happened to it. You would almost have to throw everything away and reboot, and I don't know, recast Luke, Han, and Leia. That might work. You recast them, and then you pick up after Return of the Jedi, or you do an animated movie with them, and you kind of just restart and kick all this Rey Skywalker shit into the trash. But that's not what they're doing. In fact, they're doubling down on Rey. But even successful Disney stuff like Andor, for example, say what you want about it, but overwhelmingly, all of the feedback that I've heard on Andor is that the show is positive. However, it turns out that they spent $645 million on this show. That's insane. Think about that. Think about that. And this show, like, you know, it's good, but nobody watched it. And I'm not trying to hate on this show, but it just shows you where we're at. Like, a good show came out and no one watched it. And it's happening right now with Skeleton Crew, a show that I've heard good things about. But I don't want to watch it. It's apathy for me in Star Wars at this point. And I don't think I'm the only one. That's why these shows, nobody's watching it. What does Star Wars do when they want to get attention? They call the fans racist. And I don't think that works anymore. I mean, we saw it with Skeleton Crew. The day that show came out, they came out with an article where his name escapes me, but the Asian actor who everybody had good comments on from the show, they went to him and said, "Oh, what do you think about this?" Kind of blindsiding him. And he was like, I didn't know about that. That sucks. And then all of the news outlets put that out, like attacking everybody again. That was their way to kind of drum up support for Skeleton Crew. And lo and behold, it's been out for a couple of weeks, never hit the original streaming charts. It's dead in the water. But this is insane. Disney has revealed that the cost of making Star Wars streaming show Andor has surged to $645 million after it spent a record $290 million last year on filming its second season, which will debut in April 2025. So they're combining season 1 and 2 in cost. That's a lot of money. And it's like, how does Kathleen Kennedy still have a job, right? And even the Hollywood Reporter now is calling her out. Like, I never thought I would see this happen. And this is an old article, but I just learned about it recently. It came out December 5th. And it's going over the winner and losers of 2025. And guess who's a loser? Star Wars. With one of the craziest lines I've seen them post so far. This. Lost Star Wars. Another Star Wars film pushed, another Star Wars trilogy announced. Does anybody think these announcements are real? and not a money laundering scheme. Another Star Wars series that flopped. This one, $180 million, and generated massive controversy in fan division. But also, how many times can Disney blame its audience for not liking what it makes? The franchise's new kids show Skeleton Crews are getting good reviews for the first 2 episodes, so that's at least something. Part of the blowback against Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy is just people being jealous. Who doesn't want to be able to have projects repeatedly stumble and still keep one of Hollywood's top jobs? The rest of us can only dream of failing so successfully. I mean, that's pretty wild to see from the Hollywood Reporter, but also, where have you been? But they're not wrong. I mean, it's wild how much this franchise has fallen, and she still keeps her job. I don't think she will never be fired. She's going to have to leave when she wants to, but I just think it's wild. We even had that South Park episode where everybody learned who she was. There's a lot of normies out there that probably have no idea who she is, or the fact that she runs this shit, and that really put her name out there. A lot of people from the inside that were reaching out saying that she was going insane over it, and I tend to believe it. So, Star Wars not doing so good. And then you see even more evidence and stuff like this, the video games. Apparently, there's these horse races involving these like dog horse characters called Fathirs, if I'm saying that right. And you can unlock them, and nobody has. This is from the developer in an update. I don't know if maybe this is just for Steam, but they don't really say. I'm assuming it's across the board. Nobody's unlocked these things. Canto Bight is not only Kay and Nix's home, but it's also the home of Fathir Racing, which is why it was a natural fit for our game. With Canto Bight in the game and Syndicants obviously rigging races, it perfectly aligned with the world we were building. The races offer thrilling scenarios where your Fathir might make a desperate sprint to cross the finish line, capturing the excitement of real horse races. We worked hard to make these races as entertaining as possible. Here's a little secret. To this day, no one has acquired their own. To unlock this, players need to complete dedicated short quests scattered throughout these betting stations. This will reveal an additional quest that brings Kay back to Toshare for a special opportunity. Let's see if anyone can crack it now. No one's unlocked it. Like, no one's dedicated to this game. This is embarrassing. And, you look at these numbers. These are just the Steam numbers, by the way, but it's like no one bought this game. I think the total is about 1 million copies worldwide across Epic, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox. If I'm forgetting a platform, but I'm pretty sure those are it. The Ubisoft store, maybe. Like that's sad. And think about this. 15 years ago, this game would have been a massive hit. Despite any of the controversy surrounding the character, it still would have sold just fine. And it's like, how do you do it? It takes a special feat to do this. And we already know they haven't made their money back. There was a breakdown from Forbes pretty much confirming what we've all been saying for years, that they have not had a return on investment on this franchise. All that comes out is bad news. And that's all anybody seems to care about. It's apathy. Like, no one cares. And if they do, they just want to hear about it burning. It's sad, man. I loved Star Wars growing up. I'm not the only one. That's why people are so mad when they hear about what's happened to this franchise. It didn't have to be this way. I've looked around to see if anybody might have unlocked one of these dog horses or whatever they are, and Reddit, even at the Star Wars Outlaws Reddit page. No one's uploading pictures of it for the 19 people that are online for this. No one seems to be able to show that they've done one. So that's wild to me, man. That's crazy that no one's done this. Maybe they're wrong, but I mean, this is coming from the developers, not just random people like saying that this came out. This is from them. Wild, man. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.